Hey guys, and welcome to Arcane Assist. This week it's Evan and John, and we're playing some Trolls and SKORNE, a pretty classic matchup for us. John, you haven't been on for a while. Tell us a little bit about this list that you've been working on.
So it's Grim1, my homeboy, my first caster I started playing with. I used to play Grim1 double battle engine in Kriel Company. I kind of switched him up to Storm of the North. Basically, it has a Runebearer, Mauler bomber. The solo is freeze Valka. He's just it's a great support piece, and he's just owns the table. He owns the table.
He has every single rule a fighty solo would ever have. He has
And more.
countercharge, relentless, or
Countercharge, retaliatory strike, takedown, 2 weapon master attacks,
feign death,
and he stands up when he next round.
rise. He has so many rules.
Yeah, he's
a lot competing with Finn.
Unyielding.
He's competing with Finn for number of rules on back
8 boxes. So yeah, that's the only solo I have other than the Runebearer.
It's free.
He's
6
free.
points.
I also have the Stone unit. It's Min with the Northkin Elder. Speed and cold damage buff for my warrior models is really good. Makes my champs hit PL 14. Speaking of champs, I have a max unit of champs with Skaldi.
Really good.
Don't know why you wouldn't bring them. So this is a fun part for my list. I have a lot of AD. I have 2 units of Battle Bears. I tend to ambush 1 unit and deploy 1 unit in this list. I'll explain that later when we get to the first round. I have Pig Lookouts. They just came out a couple days ago, and I got them all painted up for basically today. I have a mini unit of Pig Lookouts. They ambush, speed 6, military rifles, mark the target. They're actually a really good little unit if you know how to play them right, and I've got a few games with them now, and I really like them. And then I have Double Min Raiders. And this is the fun thing. Like, they're speed 6 with a stone that goes to speed 7. They take up a lot of board space, and 13-14 stat line is not that bad.
No, it's 13 is a pretty big tipping point for defense in terms of infantry, because you have those Mat 6 guys suddenly get a lot more dicey in terms of what they can hit, and Mat 7 isn't reliably hitting anymore. So Def 13, pretty big.
So what are you playing today?
So I brought the somewhat revised version of my Morghoul3 Disciples of Agony list. This time, it's because of the minion CID things. So last time you saw this, I had a couple of different things, and that stuff is cheaper now. So the Shamblers are 1 point cheaper, and the Blind Walker is 2 points cheaper. So basically all of the changes have allowed me to instead of having double min beast handlers, I have a single max unit, and I've thrown in an agonizer, which adds a lot of support to the lists, especially with the minions heavies that are a lot higher armor defense than what I'm taking in the list typically. So the agonizer is going to help out a lot there. Other than that, it's just Annihilators, a large battle group with a Blackhide, a Blind Walker, a Gladiator, an Archidon, and a Shaman. And it's the same support kit you saw in the last video. And if you haven't seen that, it's basically Rage and Rush on a stick that the Shaman can cast, as well as an Arc Node through the Blind Walker, or the Shaman if he decides to cast that Animus. So that's my list. I think we're just about ready to get into deployment.
So I won a die roll. I decided to go first. This list doesn't require you to go first, but I just find when you have first and you have so much board presence that it's just really cool. So what I've done with this list a few times now, I've actually practiced deploying this list because this is a list I've taken to a few tournaments now, and I've really excelled at fast deployment, fast turn 1, and it kind of saves me on clock later on down the road. So you see that proxy base at my AD line? That is basically where I can't put any model because that's where Grim's going to charge through. Also, that's where my stone unit is going to walk up to and cast +1 speed. So first turn I'm deploying. I got champs topside with Valka so he can score my flag. Evan doesn't really have any shooting, so I don't really need to be worried about that. And then I have the bomber down here so he can just basically kill whatever comes into my zone. That's my main deployment.
I have a lot more models to deploy than John here. I have a pretty big battle group of a lot of cheap heavies, like the Blind Walker and the Archidon are only 10 points each. The Wrastler and the Gladiator are a little bit more, and being 15 and 16 points respectively. But I also have a unit of Bogtrog Swamp Shamblers, which is 10 models, a couple of solos, and another full 10-man unit Annihilators. So I've got roughly 35-ish models to deploy, which is a lot more than John, because a lot of his army is ambushing or ADing. So the ambushing models really take a lot out of his time here for his deployment. He can think about that later when I'm moving my models. In terms of what I'm deploying, I've got Annihilators on the bottom. Basically, they're fast. They're able to get into that opposite zone and contest. That's the plan with them. And then they can swing into the middle zone when they need to score. Zombies are going to contest the top zone basically forever. I have an Archidon that can go wherever it needs to be just because of how fast it is. And then the plan is to have the Shaman kind of do crowd control on that flag, just shoot off whatever happens to be there.
So like over to my AD, I have 2 units of Raiders, I have 2 units of Bears, and I have Pig Lookouts. My Pig Lookouts are ambushing because it's just what they do and they're really good at it. Like I said, you have 1 Bear unit that ADs and 1 Bear unit that ambushes. So my Raiders go on each side of that proxy base. From that proxy base to the end of that Raider, it's 8 inches. It tags the last one. I've done the math, I've done the measuring, I've done it over and over, and it actually works. So now I'm just trying to make sure I got everything in my army when it works. I deployed more topside this time, so like the stone will actually go a little over. So I'm just kind of like moving around, making sure it works. And once I find the position, I'm like, okay, this is perfect. So my Raiders, my Bears go there. You see my snowdrifts? My Bears have prowl. So my Bears basically go there first turn, sit in the snowdrift, and become stealth. And from that place right there, they threat 12 inches. So going from there, I basically go right into turn 1. I basically activate Harmonious Grim. Then Grim will drop all into the stone and then charges straight forward through that hole. That's Grim. He doesn't really have a gun, so I'm not really threatened. Stone walks up. Stone pops the aura, walks up, does a D3, gets 1 back. It's sitting at 9. It hits my whole army except I think 1 Raider. Just the way I deployed. The hill was a little bit awkward, so I didn't really deploy on the hills. So Raiders go now. They're speed 7, and they run 14. So I'm quite the ways up the board. He doesn't have an AoE, but he has a spell that blinds a unit. I figured that this unit would be the one that gets blinded. I don't want my champs to get blinded, so I'm just kind of making sure I jam far enough up where he can't trample Animus and get my champs 8 inches. My champs are going to be like roughly where that wall is. My Bears are stealth, so he can't get my bear unit. So my Bears run up into the snowdrift and they're stealth. This unit, I realized that was the one that was out, so he goes back a couple inches, but the rest are speed 7s. I'm like, okay, this unit will go up. Make sure to stay outside of threat range, and they're basically going to threat them next turn. This is a setup to turn 2 feet. Evan knows it's coming. Like there's no way I'm not going to defeat turn 2. The problem with this is my feet will threaten. I walk 6 and threat 14 with my feet, so it's a 20-inch feet. Or I could charge or do whatever, right? But it's a very long feat where you can't run, charge, -3 speed, -3 defense, can't make power or special attacks.
Yeah, it's a crippling feat. Just the combination of -3 speed and not being able to run or charge is pretty brutal.
You can run, you can't
Sorry.
charge.
Not being able to charge.
Yeah, you can run. In CID, they were tooling around with not being able to run, but it was like a little too powerful because you can lock people out.
It's like, hey, Kadar Jack, move your 1 inch.
Or men off draw. I've scored 5 in 1 turn with
Yeah.
against men off player. It's just like you can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just Evan. I always ask Evan when he starts measuring, like, oh, you're gonna kill me? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, so you're measuring my feet? He's like, yeah. He's like, I can't move an inch out of my deployment zone right now, or else I get feeded on.
Yep. So I'm getting hit with this either way. The best method I have of avoiding this is kind of going towards the flanks, but there are some ambushing models that are going to cause me troubles if I go too close to the flanks. So with this Annihilator unit, the plan is jam as many Raiders as possible and keep some far enough back that they're not going to be hit by the feet and they can run into the zone the next turn. So this Annihilator here is going to be 12 inches away from the zone. Next one, 12 inches away from the zone. Same thing with the last one there. And then we're just making sure we have something that can get into that zone next turn and contest, because otherwise that feat's going to just completely screw me over.
So I just asked him to check his command. Little bit of a mistake.
There's one dude out.
Yeah, one dude out. It's not a big problem, but that's what the measuring
especially
was.
because I'm considering, like, I'm assuming that the leader model is going to die, and I'll be able to promote back to where the middle of the unit is. I'm not too worried.
So Evan was also lucky enough to engage one of my raiders. I didn't measure the 14. I only measured the threat of 11, so he ran and engaged. So that was a little scary.
This Wrastler gets rushed from a gladiator. Is a blind walker. Got rushed by the gladiator, trampled 10 inches over the wall, needed Pathfinder from rush, and then used its Animus Rights of Power to become an Arc Node. So he's sitting there. Basically, we're just going to blind those raiders because they're the most opportune target. I can't really hit anything else, and I want to prevent them from getting early work into my army, especially with those bombs on my big ol' zombie crowd. And when they're blind, they can't make range attacks, so they can't even try to scatter, which is nice.
It's really good into a shooting army, and especially an AD shooting army. If you can even get 2 out possible, on both sides of the raiders. But I don't think you want to go down to 0.
I actually don't mind it being stealth and having a lot of sack pawns. Because I can sack pawn to zombies.
Oh, yeah. You can sack pawn minion warrior models?
Minion warrior models.
So good.
I debate whether or not I want to boost it, because if I boost it and cast Mirage, I go to 0. Which, again, isn't that bad, but I'm pretty confident I can roll the 7 with Puppet Master. And I do. I roll it on the first try. I don't even have to use Puppet Master. Put Mirage on myself. I think a lot of playing Morghoul3 is that you can go for a couple of different plays. One of them is just playing a really heavy control game and letting your army do a lot of the work, just throwing out blinds repeatedly, blinding as many units a turn as possible. I think the other one is using your army as basically a delivery mechanism for Morghoul. Throwing Mirage up on yourself and just gradually moving towards your opponent's caster, eventually having some kind of assassination just by being like, okay, first model goes in and blinds you. Morghoul, having acrobatics charged over a wall or whatever, can now go to town. So that's kind of that play, with him just kind of marching towards the center of the board. I run the unit leader and a zombie into sack pawn range for Morghoul and his friend, and now I'm feeling basically completely safe from ranged attacks. If Grim wants to walk up and shoot his gun, that's fine. I can sack pawn it to the leader model, and if I'm afraid of that, I can shield guard it to the blind walker.
Oh, shield guard! I totally forgot the blind walker to shield guard.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're pretty safe from shooting. I asked a question. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a thing where you have sack pawn. So basically,
this Archidon is flying towards the top side of the board. His plan is to contest the flag next turn. I don't care if he gets hurt doing so. He's basically just going to run there, eat a countercharge from Valka, and then deny that point that turn. Valka is free to try to kill him and go onto his flag afterwards. I just want him to not score a point on my turn. So now we're at top of 2. What's the plan, John?
Ambushing. For my feet turn, I always ambush. So my lookouts... I can't say that. Most of my feet turns I ambush. Sometimes I don't actually need the other set of bears to ambush. Because having them back is really good. So I ambush these lookouts at the bottom end. The snowman model is just beautiful. I love it. So I ambush in the bottom. Now I'm thinking about, do I ambush my bears? So there's a lot of... I'm still in the reaving and upkeeping phase. I'm just figuring out my turn ahead of time. So I'm sitting here asking questions, figuring out what I can do here. Hands are going like a million miles an hour. I'm still debating if I want to ambush the bears. So I got a proxy base there where Grim will go and feet. It catches 70% of his army, everything that I need, minus the Archidon and Shaman, basically. Just catches the rush gladiator that rushes. So I'm a lot of think tanking, because this is the turn where if I mess up, I'm pretty much in the middle of the table, and having a feat like he does with overtake, and a caster that's pretty mobile.
Yeah, Morghoul is incredibly mobile. He's not afraid to just walk 7 forward after miraging and then throw out a blind, because then he can, after moving that 9 inches, he can repo 3. So he can be in a lot of places.
It's really scary. So now I'm measuring Grim, I'm measuring what my bears can threat, I'm measuring my Mauler can get to one of those heavies. It was Headhunter, but unfortunately he's an inch out. which is too bad because usually threat 9, but having like 2 extra inches of threat 11 is really good. But I'm just like an inch out, and if I was able to get that Mauler onto like that rage onto the Wrastler or Blindwalker, I think it would be really scary. So I do ambush the spares. My plan here is to tie up this Archidon so it can't fly. If it wants to take free strikes, it takes free strikes from gang Weapon Master Bears.
Well, they get an additional die, but boosted damage.
Yeah, boosted damage, sorry. But like, I'm now measuring 3 inches off the table to be precise, see how far I can get. So, okay, I can go a little farther up. That's 3 inches with an inch stick, so then I need a threat 13. So I'm measuring like if I can get to the Archidon.
Super
it's
close.
It's really tight. So like we're talking about it. We're pre-measuring. We're making sure like this is a clean game. And we're just seeing if where I deploy them, can I get 2 on you? And he's actually in my threat range of 2 bears.
Yeah, so basically the only real problem at this point is whether or not if he puts both bases there, can both of them get within 1 inch? And the answer is yes.
So yeah, this is where like the two proxy rule here. Like we're playing by their speed 7.
Well,
base.
I mean, Grim still has a proxy base out, but whatever.
I totally forgot about that. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I think we just totally...
We forgot about it at this
we
point,
honestly
honestly.
forgot about it. So basically, we're holding it down. We're like helping, like making sure this is as precise as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, Battle is speed 7.
Pre-measuring.
The Northkin Elder is only Elder. The Northkin Handler is only 6. So the bears can get there, and that's where the bears will go. So now I'm like, okay, I reef. I upkeep Wild Secrets to my bomber because he's in the rough terrain, so gives him Pathfinder. So
Yeah.
it's pretty sweet. Unfortunately, it's not free because it's not a warrior model, but it's worth moving the bomber. So I activate the bears first because I'm not getting the Archidon on my feet, but this is actually a little better for me. I'm getting gang charges off on this Archidon. I'm at 8. Need some 6s. I hit. Gang go to 16. So I'm rolling some hardcore dice here.
Dice even.
So on average, I think I kill you with 6 attacks.
Well.
2 with dice even and 4 with 1 off.
So let's say since you need 6s to hit, that you miss one of them. So you hit the charge, you do dice even 10.5 damage. Then the second attack hits, you do 7, so you're at 17.5 damage. Third one misses. Then the second bear goes. If it hits its charge attack, it should kill me. So we're already over by a bunch.
Yeah.
And it has 2 more chances at it. So it should be a pretty dead Archidon, but you missed 3 attacks with one of the bears.
No, I missed 2 attacks.
2
with
attacks.
I missed a charge attack and the second attack. I hit the third one and left you in like 4 boxes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's okay. You're pretty tied up. You can't really take a free strike now because I'm pretty sure you'll die.
Yep.
But I'm like, cool. This is good. The Raiders are blinded. They walk 6. Do absolutely nothing. They walk 6. They're in your zone behind the forest. They're contesting. Valka walks to the flag, scores that flag. Anything within 4 inches will get countercharged. Now I'm debating, where do my battle bears go on? Do I want the Blindwalker dead or do I want the Wrastler dead? Wrastler, whatever, however people want to say
Wrastling.
it. The Wrastler.
Wrastling.
Which one's more scary? The Blindwalker's more scary because you can arc through it and blind my champions. But blinded champions are really sad.
Blinded champions are poopy.
Yes. they're a sad day. So now I'm measuring, where does my feet get? My feet just takes a gladiator. That's exactly where I want to be. So this is a point where I'm like, well, I harmonious my caster. My caster walks up. He feats.
As expected.
Oh, definitely as expected. This is pretty good feat targets I get too. Like this is like a lot of stuff I get. Checking line of sight. A Wrastler, I do not have it. Now I'm measuring where my bomber will have to be.
Yeah,
my bomb, so I'm taking the proxy bases back. My bomber, the plan here is have my bomber walk over and throw some bombs at the Blindwalker to weaken it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only have one battle bear charge the Blindwalker and my other one charge the Wrastler, just to like jam you up and try to do some damage. So it works. I have to fire strike myself, but that's okay. You're -3 defense. Your defense is 7. So I need anything but double 1s. They do happen. It's a game of dice. So Grim takes a shot. He hits. He boosts damage, power 13. Dice off 7. I didn't know he was armor 20, which is really good. Do a couple points. I think 1. Doesn't matter. So my feet's up. I'm gonna put return fire on myself. I just drop 2 because Grim doesn't have really much more to do. I could have threw like a man trap out there, but having a scatter just kind of wastes more clock. Like this turn usually takes me a little while because I'm planning. Like this is Grim's turn is like what you do is you plan enough to win a scenario, or the following turn you're able to kill a caster. So the bomber walks up, fire strikes, hits, boost damage, dice off 4. Does quite a bit of damage to this Wrastler or the blind walker. This is the one I decided I'm gonna go for and try to kill. Second hits, boost damage again, so he's full. Dice off 4 to start 7 more. I left you, I don't know, like 12 boxes, which is pretty good, I think. He's full. So now my plan is here. I think it's Battle Bear time, or now I'm like, I forgot I got these ambushers. Let's go use them. So there's speed 6 with military rifles. So there's speed 6 rat 4, but they have marked the target.
They're basically rangers.
Yes,
but they get to ambush.
Yeah.
Which, if anyone knows how rangers work, is really good.
Yeah, so like they're ambushing the back, like they're way behind your line. They're basically your deployment zone.
Yeah. So the other important part about this is you're specifically targeting annihilators that are not in your feet.
Correct. So I'm targeting ones that are not in my feet. So you don't get -3 defense, but I'm marking target on the ones I do, and I'm in the back arc.
Yep.
So it's basically a +4 for me.
Yeah.
The rat 4, they go to rat 8. Your defense is 12, right?
13.
13. Okay.
But
it's pretty
still.
good. Yeah. So I hit one. I hit the other one. Power 11. He toughs. He's knocked down. That's pretty good because you can't charge or run when you're knocked down.
Correct.
I hit the next one. He toughs again. Cool. That's fine. Take it. Other guy hits. Knocks down. So they kill 2 and 2 tough. That's pretty good from my lookouts. Now they're in the back, and whatever tries to contest the zone has to be worried of military rifles in your back.
Yep.
Like, they're scary. So now I have my raiders. They are a really good little unit if used right. So they have quick work. So if they kill someone in melee, they can make a range attack. So the one guy walks up to the guy that's knocked down. Other guys are walking over. All these guys are just going to like walk within 8 of this unit, and I'm trying to basically neuter this unit. Like this unit hopefully doesn't last this turn. So the guy hits guys knocked down, kills him.
Chucks a bomb at the other knockdown
hits,
guys.
Pow 12 automatically kills this guy in melee. I'm only rat 6, but your defense is -3, so your 10s when he 4s. Hits. I get quick work. Cool. Aim for the guy in the back. I hit. Crit fire. Tough. Dead. So basically, if I hit my bombs, he has to make it tough. You're 10, so the 4 hits. So I'm just slowly neutering them. The one that's I'm really afraid of is the one behind this water tower. He's going to have cover from whatever one I shoot with. So I'm just kind of like trying to do as much as I can. So I'm shooting this one. I need a 10. I hit it.
And he dies.
And
so
the double ones kill it because it's power 12. So I actually wiped the unit between my raiders and lookouts, which was really good. So now I'm like, okay, I have this zone. My Mauler could just fit through that. I had to run him though, so I'm Fury heavy, but I'm in a good position to score 2 on Evan's turn. So my next plan is my stone unit. So I'm measuring if my stone unit can walk and get 9 inches into battle bears to get the strength aura. It cannot. So I have to run up to make sure it works. So my battle bears will be going in on this blind walker and Wrastler, hoping to kill the blind walker and jam the Wrastler, maybe crippling something if I'm lucky, but odds are I just do a little bit of damage and tickle it. In this spot, I think I'm in a good position going into your turn. I think I'm in a safe position from your caster.
Yeah. You are, you're in a place where I think most casters wouldn't want to be across from Morghoul. I think standing across a forest that Morghoul's within 2 inches of is pretty dangerous. But I can't charge on your feet, which is nice.
And having a stat line of 16, 15, 16, 17 is really solid camping too.
Yeah.
Maybe a War Machine caster would die. because you reduce 5, you can't reduce all.
Yeah, exactly. The transfers are really the problem because you have 2 transfers. If you only had 1, you'd be in a much worse position.
Yeah.
But anyways, you're attacking with bears.
Yeah,
They're doing a lot of damage.
The bears hit hard.
They managed to take out the rest of the Blind Walker after it had been damaged. I am going to take the 2 Fury from it.
Yeah, and then the other bears attacking the Wrastler. Does a couple points of damage. I think it does like a total of 10 over the 3 attacks, which is fine. I didn't expect any more from it. Maybe a little less, actually, to tell you the truth, but they perform pretty good. And this is why I always have one Adine, because they just threat the zone. Like, whatever you put in the zone, the bears can go on and maybe kill it. They usually kill a heavy. They can kill a heavy usually by themselves. Now my champs just kind of like form up a wall. Making sure I stay outside of 5 inches of the Wrastler. You'll say he's only speed 2, but he can get rushed, go to speed 4, and 1 inch reaches 5.
Yep.
So I'm trying to make sure my champions can't like just get walked down by the Wrastler with rage and just kind of like go down.
Yeah.
So I end my turn, I think, in a really great position to score 2 on his turn, then 2 on my turn again.
You've done a lot of work.
I kill a whole unit. That was huge for me.
Yeah.
So Evan.
First thing I measure
yeah.
is Grim within 7 inches of Morghoul, because Morghoul can apparate 2, walk 4, reach 1. You are just barely out. So, good, totally intentional planning.
Not at all.
So, what else does Morghoul have to do this turn? Well, I can apparate into the bears, maybe kill it with a flashing blade, and then use my actual movement to get deeper. Then also use my Knight's Reflection to blind the champion unit and be pretty safe, using them almost as if they're a screen themselves. And then I can send one of the escorts into the bottom zone to contest, because she'll, at that point, I'll have feated, she'll have parry and acrobatics, and she has Pathfinder base, and she can repo 3. So she's basically just getting there after the Mirage apparate. But not having anything like controlling the bottom half of the table, not having anything to exert any real pressure there now that the entire Annihilator unit is dead, is pretty big problem for me. It's a pretty big problem because I just don't have anything to threaten the Mauler in the bottom zone or that unit of Raiders whatsoever. I might have the Gladiator in a couple turns, but right now he's only speed 1. So it's not good. Not good.
Damn.
So I need to get Morghoul into a position where he's not going to die, but also where he can get some work done. So he's probably also going to have to be the first one to activate just to get those bears out of the way, so that maybe I can do something with the Wrastler, go kill a couple of Raiders, that kind of thing. So, still debating where I want to Mirage to at this point, because I can try to go into the champions, I can try to go into the Raiders, or the bears, or really anything, just because he's so mobile and he has acrobatics and he can just go wherever. But he's going to apparate into the bear. I'm going to try to kill it with a flashing blade before I actually move, so that I can make an attack and then go somewhere else. See how it works out.
Battle bears are 8 boxes, defense 12, base 17 armor, under the stone 19, and they have unyielding, so they're 21.
I didn't realize they had unyielding, which is just... Ooh,
they're 12-21, and with the unyielding change, it's really good.
Yeah, because knocking them down wouldn't even change the fact that they still have arm 21, because unyielding is just straight against melee attacks now. Probably a much healthier change for the game, just because unyielding had some weird arbitrary rulings.
There was quite a bit of ways where you can get around that.
Yeah.
And playing trolls, it's the Cure Warriors now are like
it's a lot
strong.
Of why was unyielding useless on things that didn't have reach.
Correct.
But now it's not. So, anyways, other plans for this turn. Where's the zombie unit going to go? How am I going to deal with the 2 bears next to the Archidon? There's a lot of questions I have to answer here. Morghoul just swinging on the bear. The escort swings. I think she missed, so she didn't blind the bear.
Correct.
No, that was Morghoul just hitting, and I was debating whether or not to boost, because I haven't attacked with her yet, just because I wanted to flashing blade, see if I kill it, and then attack with everything. Yeah.
So you're speed 4.
I
So
just
you got to
hop
the back,
over the bears
hop over.
with acrobatics.
Just a lot of problem thinking. Like,
yeah. You've caused me a lot of problems here. And this is the point where I realize that I only have 3 Fury on me left, and neither of these bears are dead, and I haven't blinded the champions. And now at this point, it's not worth risking just rolling the 6 that doesn't have a Puppet Master on it in order to try to blind the champions, so they're not going to be blind this turn. So I'm just going to have to screen Morghoul really well with what I can. So I'm working on Flashing Blading the bear and the handler, doing what I can to them. I think I managed to kill the handler pretty easily, but only do a couple of points to the bear.
just double checking the handler doesn't have unyielding. It doesn't. He basically just one shot and he has grievous wounds.
So no tough on that. Overtake from my feet. I just basically face a better direction.
You face forward.
Then Repo. Escort goes into the zone. Morghoul's camping 0 in a pretty bold position. Now he's 16-14. He's steady. He's stealth. He's got a lot of tools to keep him alive here, but only being 15 boxes is a little bit scary. So I'm going to move some guys up into sack pawn range. Hopefully he'll be less dead there. And then I realize, oh, wait, everything is only speed like 2. They just can't get there.
You can't. Just because how mobile your caster was, your sack pawns can't actually get up there. Mm-hmm. And I killed your shield guard last turn.
Yep. They're still going to move around, basically contest the zone, get a couple onto one of the raiders, do a CMA. It's not going to kill the raider, but you know.
Right now you're healing the bird, and you're raging it though.
Yes. Sorry. The beast handlers in this list get some really cool tech where they get acrobatics, so they can just walk over top of the zombies, and they don't block their way, so they just walk over them. Medicate and rage the Arcane, medicate and enrage the Wrastler, make him hit a lot harder. And he had a couple of damages he had taken from a bear. Now he's going to heal that a bit, and he's going to get to snack some bears. So the Wrastler activates, going to just go swing for the fences at these bears. Bite going on the undamaged one, boosting damage, just trying to one-shot it there. Gets a tough check, fails. I snack it for some health points. Yeah. And then I
Miss your
just
second,
swing
hit your
both
third.
claws onto the other bear that's taking damage, boost damage just to be safe, maul it, eat it, get some more health back. So that's where the Wrastler is. Unfortunately not in front of Morghoul, behind him, but, you know, we have some plans for getting some screening to Morghoul.
Yeah, at this point, I'm just like, that bear unit just took out a blind walker with some help from the bomber and just ate an activation from a heavy. I'm like...
So... Agonizer goes up, gnawing pain. Pretty typical. Measuring to see which zombies are actually in the feet. It's most of them.
Anything behind the wall is good. In front of the wall, you're in the feet.
Yep.
Wasn't planned, but that's how it worked out.
So this is about as far as they can all move. Just not anywhere useful.
Yeah, you don't even have one for sack pawn. I think, right? Like just outside of 3.
Mm-hmm. So the CMA misses.
Defense 13, wrap 4 goes to 7. Is it 2-man or 3?
I think it's 5 goes to 4 or 5 goes to 6.
All right,
something
so you
like
need
that.
7s rolled.
It missed either way.
Yeah, just not good.
So fun tech with the shaman here. It charges, boosting to hit, kills, toughs the raider, buys an attack, kills it on the second attack. Uses primal magic to cast sprint from the Arcane and sprints in front of Morghoul.
It's really cute because now you have like you have a shaman in front of my champs.
I can screen a little bit now. You're gonna have to take some free strikes if you'd like, or you'll have to kill the shaman, which will give me some transfers. So Arcane's just gonna shimmy, boost to hit a bear, boost damage on the bear, kills it. I'm needing 6s to hit and 10s to kill. So I have one fury left, buy an attack, hits, roll an 11 for damage, and kill that bear. That Arcane hit way above its weight class.
He was pissed.
Yep. He did work.
The good thing is for trolls is I will be scoring 1.
Yep, so I couldn't contest that top flag. I couldn't clear out my own flag to score it, so John's just going to get up a point here.
So, of course, my turn. I'm like, I kill your caster. I'm like, wait a second. There's a lot more I need to do. So, first things first, Mauler does a freak out, does not freak out. I'm like, that's perfect. He's on 1. My feet is down. What is the plan? So, Grim can't see because my champions are basically that forest. Grim can walk up, mark for death, and shoot.
Yeah.
But then my bomber can't see because the champs run away. So then my bomber has to go through the forest, but he can't see 3 inches of the forest. So it's like auto activations to kill your caster, and then even at that, your caster might not die because it's
high defense, can't be knocked down.
Yeah, like I have a lot of knockdown tools.
Important note: the Willbreaker walked up and gave flesh hardening to Morghoul's unit, so that entire unit is tough.
So that's another thing. So I actually thought of like moving a champion and charging with Grim because he has takedown on his little dagger.
Mm-hmm.
But like
that's
that
not
could have
great
been
odds.
Problem too.
Yeah,
like I could have marked for death you and then charged. Like it could have I don't know, but I'm debating on how to kill your caster because I figured I can go for the scenario play. Like I was talking out loud. I'm like, well, I can just like go for the scenario and win on scenario long game, but I feel like that'd be kind of a boring long 2-hour grind.
I'm not sure you also have the time on your clock to do that because you only have 23 minutes left after that really long second turn.
Very, very true. So my Mauler walks up, boost, hits, you tough, and then boost again. Like it's just a whole bunch of crap. Like cool, you're dead. I own the zone. That's my 2 points.
Yep. So you've killed the next.
I'll score 2 points this turn. Go to 3. I'm like debating how to do this. I can't clear the middle zone because it's a shaman and a Wrastler. It's a little tough to clear. I'm sure I can figure out how. So I'm just debating: do I kill your caster? Like this is still a debate. So in the end, I decide I'm going to kill his caster. My stone walks over, +1 strength or +2 strength, gets 1 back. So here it is. I'm going to figure it out. I'm pretty sure I'm like, okay, your caster's stealth. Grim has true sight. I'm going to mark for death hue.
Yep, you have to get into the forest first, though.
Yep. So I'm going for it. Grim walks up just enough to see. Doesn't need to be within 5. Just needs to see 3 inches of the forest.
Yep.
He does. Mark for death. I boost a hit. I hit it.
Yeah.
You're marked for death. I'm like,
you needed 10. So
I rolled like 15. It was outrageous. I'm like, cool. I want to shoot you. I hit. I boost damage. Power 13. Dice off 1. I like it, cool.
Does 8 damage.
Does 8. I'm like, okay, let's start.
Leaves me on 7 boxes.
I'm like, I'm on camp 2. I'm like, I'm done. I'm on camp 2.
Camp 2 is a good plan. Again, it's that area where it's not quite reliable enough for me to kill
So I'm like, Grim blocked the landing zone for the bomber. The bomber just needed to toe the forest to see 3 inches in that little corner. Unfortunately, he can't. So next best plane.
Shoot the Wrastler.
Shoot the Wrastler. Blast damage. Hits the Wrastler. Does some damage to the Wrastler. I don't want to kill the Wrastler. Has transfers. Don't want to do it. Boost blast damage. Power 8. Dice off 6. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, dice off 6. Does a few more points. Do it again.
I think you did like 1 or 2.
Yeah. I missed the Wrastler. I'm like.
And it scatters way out.
Scatters and it kills a raider in your zone.
Yep.
I'm just helping you out. I'm like, great. Cool. Blast damage. Yep. Kills. Tough. Doesn't tough. Okay.
I get a corpse.
Me too.
On my Boker.
So I'm like, okay. So this is kind of going bad. I'm like, okay, champs. I don't care about free strikes. Let's do this.
Yeah, you can just sanguine bond it to the guys who aren't going to be taking free strikes.
Correct. So you take first champ gets free strike.
Do 7 damage?
Yeah, you do 7, so I transfer all 7 to Skaldi. Why not? Next guy. I get 2 champs on you.
Yep.
Next
so
guy
these
takes
guys
a free
are
strike.
Just walking in.
Yeah, my whole unit's just walking. I'm like, cool, this guy takes 4. The rest of the guys are just going to walk up and put some damage on the shaman after I try hopefully kill your caster. Like, kill your caster and it's over.
So 7's hit because of mark for death.
Yes.
You
I
miss.
miss.
You
I
miss
miss
again.
Miss.
A third time. And
I
you miss
miss.
a 4th time.
Okay, Evans, I guess you can tell. Evans.
Morghoul is alive after 2 champions get to him while he is marked for death.
So Evans is like doing his little happy dance. He's trying to figure out now how does he get out of here. So
well,
I'm
not off the roller coaster yet.
So I'm trying to. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to weaken the shaman. Hopefully, I don't kill it. I spike a roll, and I'm like, how many boxes are left? You're like 2. I'm like, champs are done. I'm like,
you don't kill the shaman to give me transfers.
I'm like, I'm not giving you transfers. So I'm like, okay, here we go. So this is where it gets fun.
Raiders also gonna go for the blast damage strat.
Raiders are gonna walk up, shoot the Wrastler, hoping for a crit. Crit fire.
So
no crit, but hits.
Hits. Against
POW
the
12.
Wrastler, rolls boxcars for damage.
Yeah, so it's POW 12, dice off 7.
Dice off 7 does 5
Does
damage.
5. I'm like, great, cool. I hit. I do no damage to your caster. I hit again.
Do no damage to the Wrastler.
And I do to 1 point.
Yeah, 1
1 point.
I have 2 boxes
Sweet.
left.
2
on
boxes
Morghoul.
left and tough. Other Raider just hit a.
Yeah, just stab
So
the dude.
this unit gets 5 guys to shoot at the Wrastler.
Yep.
It's I'm all in. Like I'm all in here. So 5 guys. First guy hits. So like your defense 12, I need 7s. Like I'm hitting. Like I should be missing some of these, but I'm hitting, which is cool. I hit.
I think you missed 1.
I crit fire you,
You
which is what I needed.
Fire. I tough on the one that would have killed me.
Yes. So you tough the crit fire guy, and you're on 1 box. The Wrastler's on like 2 boxes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for it still.
You don't kill the Wrastler.
And now I'm shooting your 1 duder in front of me. Your 1 unit. Your
The escort.
Escort. I hit because it's marked for death.
Scatters into
I
nowhere.
missed, so it
Hits
scatters.
a Raider.
So
Doesn't kill.
So 1 Raider toughs, 1 Raider doesn't. I'm like, cool. I'm just coming on, guys, now. Okay, long lookouts. Let's try to kill this escort.
Yeah, it doesn't have stealth anymore thanks to Mark for Death.
I asked Evan just to move some guys up because I just couldn't reach across the table. So it's back arc, -2 defense, and I'm like, oh yeah, sack pawn. So he sack pawns it to these 2 shamblers.
Just the one.
They're POW 11s. Kills the shamblers.
Nothing else is in 3. She toughs,
But she's knocked down.
but she's knocked down.
So I'm like, okay, Evan, I think this is it. I think I'm done. I'm like, Evan, fire will not go out, and you'll die.
Well,
So
hey.
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That's my hope, right? Because that's all.
Rude.
Rude. So what I'm here is like I can score 1, but I'm like, you know what? I want to run Valka into the zone for countercharge.
So fire does not go out. He'd need to roll dub 1s for me not to die, and I die. Because the tough expires on me before I
Correct.
make the continuous effect roll. So I don't have tough when the fire hits me, and Morghoul eats it to fire.
Burns
He
to
survived so much.
He did. He survived 2 champions,
So much.
a 2 bomber blast, and like 9 raiders blast.
Yeah. And it's like, if he survives that, he kills a lot of stuff in retaliation.
He either kills a lot of stuff, blinds the champions, or he tries to kill Grim Campion too, and that's where you're
That's
like,
a little more dicey.
that's the dicey rule. But
I think I blind the champs, flashing blade a bunch of them, kill whatever I can out of that, because they've already taken a bunch of damage from free strikes.
correct.
They're hurting.
Taking a total of 12.
Yep. And then Grievous wounds them so they can't make the tough rolls, and then maybe pay 1 for sprint from the Arcadon and get out of dodge. And then from there, I can use Beast Handlers to heal back up the Wrastler. Wrastler can go in, kill the rest of the champs, and then I have a bit of an attrition game from there. My problem is still that just that bottom zone is going to be impossible for me to really do any work in, and I still have to keep pressing the assassination threat with Morghoul without getting him killed now that he's on 1 box. So it's a really dicey game from that point, but I died to fire, so we don't have to play that.
Yes. Good game.
Yeah, good
thanks.
game.
Thanks for watching. I'm hoping to get a couple more recorded games on. It's
Yeah.
been family life, and
Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to follow us on all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. We're going to be at Captain Con this weekend. So myself and Tim hope to see you there. Unfortunately, John can't make it this time around, but hopefully next time. And then after that, our big con is Adepticon. And then after that is the Sioux.
You'll see me in the Sioux. I'll be there at the suit.
Oh yeah, you'd die before you did miss the suit.
Yeah, I can't miss the suit. I've been there
Yeah.
2 years and it's just been a wonderful time.
So we will see you then. Thank you very much for watching.